Today we're going to be making collard green salad. The first thing that I do whenever I come into the kitchen, of course we wash our hands. We wash our hands all the time anyway, but we wash the vegetables and everything else that comes out of my kitchen has gone through a Clorox wash. We're not going to get into that, but if you have any questions concerning it later, then we will answer the questions of how we put the collard greens through a Clorox wash. Now, the next thing on program, we first went out, we went out and bought some collard greens. Now, I like collard greens that have the small stems to them, and I put some stems out here so that you could see that these collard greens came off of some small stems. And of course they were pulled off like that, and of course they were tender because of the fact that they were small. Now if you get larger greens, it's just going to be tougher, right? We understand that. So these greens have gone through a Clorox wash, and so we're going to move them. And we're going to move the stems. And we're going to set them to the side. And we're going to show you what happened to those greens. This is what happened to those greens. They were chopped up. Now I use a cleaver to chop. Some people like to use the modern things that cut up everything, but I use a cleaver to chop things. So these greens, so as to make this go faster, have already been chopped up using this cleaver until they were fine, as you see them here, nice and fine. Okay, the next thing we have about 3 cups of greens here, and I have a cup of onions. Now I may not necessarily use this whole cup of onions, but I'm going to start with a cup of onions, and I'm going to put some in there. Say about, I'm thinking maybe 1/3 of a cup of onions. And then I'm going to start to mixing this together. And then I'll see, will I add some more onions, which I just want to have where you can see the onions. And soon they're going to turn green just like the salad. So we got 3 cups of collards here and about 1/3 cup of onions. And I think maybe we could probably put a few more onions, but now we're saying that we will not use a whole cup of onions for this. Okay, we're mixing it up. After we get that all mixed up, we're going to use some olive oil. Now, I am going to put olive oil on here, and I'm not saying how much, but I'm going to put it on till I see oil. And of course now we're trying to stay away from as much oil as we possibly can. So I want to see the oil kind of glistening, and so I will mix that together to see if I sprinkled a little olive oil on the top. As you can see, that was not much olive oil there. I just sprinkled a little on the top to start mixing. I want to see a little glistening of olive oil as I mix, but we don't want a whole lot of oil. We're getting to the place now where we try to stay away from as much oil, even though olive oil is a good oil. So as you can see, those onions are going to disappear. The chlorophyll that's in the green, which is always so good for us to have the chlorophyll. You can imagine all the different things that eat in these greens They are a mover, and I know you know what I mean when I say they are a mover. They are also chlorophyll, you know what it does, makes you smell good too. Chlorophyll will make you smell good. So that little bit of oil there is all I'm going to use at this time. The greens seem to be glistening. I might add a little bit later, but I'm going to tell you something after a while that I also do to keep from having a lot of olive oil. Right here, I have 2 ounces of lemon. I squeeze the lemon in there to get the juice. Of course, remove the seeds and everything. And this lemon juice is going to like cook. Now when you see me put this on here, you're going to start seeing juice coming out of, now we have 2 ounces. Let's see, I doubt if we'll use it all. We'll probably use 1 ounce because it's going to start getting juicy, and we don't want it juicy. We don't want collard green soup today. We just want collard green salad. Okay, the lemon juice starts to cook those greens as much as we need them to cook. Okay, we add mixing. And as you can see, the chlorophyll that's in the greens is turning your onions green. Here we have some Bragg's aminos. This is a soy sauce like that has 16 amino acids in it, and of course we know that that's protein. We have to be careful with sodium and the collard greens because the greens of course have salt also, so it will be too salty if you don't be very careful. So what we're going to do is maybe use, I'm going to just use maybe a 1/4 because this will become too salty. Use this 1/4. And this is amino acids, 16 amino acids, excellent to add protein to any dish that you have, salad, soups, and gives an excellent taste. Okay, we're mixing that. We should have us another spoon over here that we can use to see, to now taste. It's glistening from the olive oil. And so we think we may have enough olive oil. And now I taste everything. Okay. We can use a little bit more amino acids. Like I said, be real careful. I'm going to use another 1/4 of a teaspoon of amino acids. And I'm going to be real careful with that. I'm going to put the other, because I see that it isn't running. We don't want to make it juicy, right? And I'm going to use a little bit more olive oil, just a dab. And now, as you can see, it's getting smaller, right? The amount that we started out with, because actually that lemon juice cooks the greens. Now, that is all there is to making collard green salad. So I guess the biggest thing that's going on is when you're making preparation to make collard green salad, to make sure that you have your greens clean, and if you have everything that you need sitting there, and of course the time that it's taken is the chopping up. So you see how pretty that is. That's a beautiful green salad. You put it, I'm going to leave this on here, and I'm going to add some liquid lecithin, not liquid, This is not liquid. I take that back. It is not liquid. Because of the fact that we don't want so much oil now, I use this. And actually I sprinkle it on the top. And that makes it pretty also when you're serving it. And it also acts like an oil. And it's excellent for your heart, to keep your weight down, for energy, so many different things. So when I am making collard green salad, I just have these things prepared: my Clorox, my lecithin, my olive oil, my amino acids. Chop up the greens, have some onions and some lemon juice, and now we have a marvelous dish of collard green salad.